Do you guys remember Johnny Five, the robot from the movie Short Circuit and Short Circuit 2?
The all-new Johnny 5. Just look at these items. Increased memory, 500 megabytes online. I come with a utility pack, dozens of gadgets for outdoor living, lots of green key stickers, and even my own Nike swoosh.
Well, ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to have my own Johnny Five. Hi everyone, it's Andy Baryer from HandyAndyMedia.com. I am the DIY tech guy of the internet and also avid robot lover because today we're talking all about household robots and are they right for you? Now, like I said, since I was a kid, ever since I met Johnny Five, well, I didn't really meet him. I saw him in the movie, but I've always been fascinated by imagine having your own personal robot, like the things you could do. It's like a friend, but a friend that will do anything you tell it to do. Well, fast forward to like, I don't know what 20, 30 years. And guess what? You can actually have your own types of robots. Now, I happen to have 3 of them. The first one that I have is for my backyard. It is the Husqvarna Automower. This is a robotic lawnmower. Now, what's special about this is it doesn't bag the grass. It just kind of cuts it and puts it down into the ground. Now, if you've been on my channel at all, you'll know that I've had some issues with the Husqvarna Automower. The boundary line that goes around, well, it starts to disintegrate after a couple of years. And so you got to find where the break is in that line. And if you do have an Automower, go to my YouTube channel. I do have some content about how to fix the boundary line. Now let's go inside the house. And what you'll notice is inside I have a variety of different monitors. I'm actually reviewing this one right here, right now. This is from Ecovacs. It's their Deebot Ozmo T8 Plus, and it's a robot vacuum and mop in one. Now, this is very intriguing because I currently have a robotic vacuum and a robotic mop. So 2 devices, whereas this one saying it can do both of those in one. So let's just talk about a couple of things you need to look out for if you're looking to get a robotic vacuum or a robotic mop. Because like, think about this one right here, the Ozmo. So I've been playing around with it, right? And I'm like, wow, you know, this is great. Can you have the best of both worlds? No, you can't. It's like a 2-sport athlete. This is like Bo Jackson, okay? Trying to play 2 sports. Are you going to become a Hall of Famer, win records in both sports simultaneously at the same time? Highly unlikely. You can't be great at 2 different sports. Just ask Bo, ask Deion Sanders. It's not easy. So if you focus, and a lot of athletes have to do this, you have to focus. You might be a 2-sport athlete, but you have to choose one. Allen Iverson did. Fantastic freaking football player, but he chose ball. Smart move by AI. Anyways, it's the same thing goes with these robotic vacuums and mops. The issue that I was having with the Deebot is in the back over here, you have the reservoir where you put the water in. So here's the issue. You have to fill it with water and you have to put it on with the mopping pad. You can get disposable mopping pads or you can get a reusable one that's washable in your laundry machine. So you put it in and then it goes ahead and does its mop. The issue that I've noticed with this one is, if I can get it open, it just does not use enough water. Now, in the Ecovacs app, you can set it to use more water. By default, like it pad just barely wet. It's just like, it's doing a half-ass job, okay? Let's put it that way. Even me mopping drunk, okay? Give me like 6 beers and give me a mop. I guarantee you, I'm going to do a better job than this one right over here. Now, it also is a vacuum, like we mentioned. And what's cool about this one, the T8 Plus, because they have the T8, this is the T8 Plus, is that it comes with its autofill station. Basically, they figured out the big issue. What's the point on having a robotic vacuum is if every day or every couple of days, you have to empty the bin. Now, it takes all of that away from you with the autofill station because it does a 2-in-1. Basically, it's charging the device. And every time it goes back into the charging station, it literally sucks out all the dirt and puts it into the autofill station, into this disposable bag that you can then get rid of and then put a new bag in. So it's a lot of convenience. Let's put it that way. That bag will probably last you about 1 month, depending on your house and how much dirt you have. But essentially, think about it. Rather than having to change this all the time, you just have to change this bag once a month, which is way more convenient. Here's the issue. Two things. If this mop is on with the Ozmo, it will not go onto carpet, okay? It will understand. It's intelligent enough to know that it should not go onto carpet. However, to get it to go on carpet, you got to take this off. Now, you could have the actual water reservoir still in, but I always have a really hard time getting this plate off. Just the way that it's docked on here, you're going to need some tools, and I just can't see that happening all the time. You could take the pad off, but essentially it knows when the pad's on, so it won't go on the carpet. So you gotta have to like interact with it a lot, and I just don't feel that that's very convenient for you when you have to just take this on and off. And at that point, you might as well just get a mop and just mop your floor. So let's go ahead and talk about my Roombas. Now, the Roomba does a very good job as a vacuum. The Brava Jet, the one that does the mopping, again, I'm not a fan. I barely use it. I always have to fill it up with water. Then they're like, oh, you got to put this solution, but it's got to be the iRobot, solution. You can't just put like dish soap, or they don't recommend it. So again, I'm just trying to briefly talk about these robots. Here's what I've learned. Robotic lawnmower, one of the best investments you could possibly ever make, especially if you have a big yard and it takes a long time just manually cutting it. It's fantastic. You still got to do the weed eating around, the trimming around the edges. But man, I'm telling you, it's great. It's so good that I just like buy like grass seeds like crazy. I just keep seeding my lawn, man. Make it look like a golf course because it's going to cut. It makes a lot of sense in that sense. Robotic vacuums. When they first came out, man, they were just a completely novelty item. They just didn't suck. That's a dad joke there if you didn't get it. Vacuums need to suck, okay? And when they first came out, they didn't suck enough. Now they do have good suction. They can, actually do a decent job of getting just the everyday surface level dirt and grime that goes on either laminate flooring or carpet. Totally see value in that. Now, do what I do, okay? They have all these like voice activated, you can, and do that. But the fascination of watching it work, that dies quickly, okay? Even though they're pretty quiet, this Deebot's super quiet, way more quiet than the Roomba that I have. I think it's the i9. However, a good tip, and this is a handy tip, is you schedule it to go and to work when you're sleeping. So like 2, 3 in the morning. That way, think about it. You wake up, get a fresh cup of coffee, you look around, and you got those nice lines in the carpet. Your laminate floors all clean. It's a nice feeling. You shouldn't hear it work. You shouldn't have to see it work. You should just know that it's working. You'll get a push notification when you need to empty the bin, and you go ahead and do that. So I just want to end this off. I know I could have went into this whole review of the Ozmo and the LiDAR sensor and the auto detect and the mapping technology. There's a lot of different types of robotic vacuums, and if you want to figure out which one's right for you, that's a completely entire video. What I'm trying to tell you is, if you are into robots and you want robot helpers, the two that you probably would want to consider, number one is a robotic lawnmower, and number two, a robotic vacuum. The whole mop thing, I am not convinced. Even though I have one, I barely use it because you got to keep changing that pad. And trust me, if you don't change that washable mopping pad, it starts to stink, man. And if this mop is working, like, it was one day I woke up in the morning, I was like, what the hell, man? It smells like old hockey equipment. And it was the freaking pad because I never changed the pad. So it just requires too much user intervention for it to be something that I would recommend. So if you're in the market for robots, number one, get yourself a robotic lawnmower. I totally recommend Husqvarna Automower. It is freaking awesome. And number two, get yourself a robotic vacuum. And if you do, make sure it has a station that auto cleans, okay? It's not worth it if you have to manually do it, in my opinion. So keep that in mind if you're in the market for robots. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little robotic talk. Johnny 5 is still alive. He's just reincarnated into, cleaning robots. So if you want yourself a Johnny 5, there's one out there for you. Just stay away from Johnny 5, the mop version, and go for the lawnmower or the vacuum. Once again, it's Andy Baryer, Handy Andy, signing out. See you again next time. Bye for now.